Well, good morning everybody, Hobo Cyclist. And I was a little bit curious about which would cook a pot of water faster to roll and boil, in my MSR or my Pumas. So I'm going to weigh out the bottles of fuel, and it's 31 ounces here. And then on the fuel for canister, it's 13.1 ounces. So I'm going to get everything set up and see how we go today. And I'll be back with you once everything's set up and the fuel's running. Okay, I'm also making sure I have the same amount of water in both containers for this test. And I got them both at the same 28.7, so we're right there. And so we'll move on. We'll set up the stoves, and we'll get a test going on here and see how we go. Okay, I got both stoves set up at the moment. The Pumas is set up on this bottle here. Plus point here, it's neat, it's clean. Minus point, they're harder to find. You can get them at Walmart, and on some of the bike trails you can get them, and a few of the camping stores. Minus point here, you've got to preheat it and get it hot before it begins producing a usable cooking flame. Plus point, you can buy Coleman fuel at grocery stores, hardware stores, Kmart, Walmart, sporting goods stores. Here's another form of it right here. You can also use gasoline in it, but if you do, I suggest you get you a small funnel, something like this, to carry along with you if you're going to try to fill up that bottle with a gas pump. So let me get the MSR cooking, and we'll continue on with this. Alright, here's the MSR. Let me put a little bit too much fuel. As you say, this is it's kind of a drawback on the MSR versus the Puma here. It takes a few minutes for it to get warmed up. It's about 60 degrees today, so it's going to take about a minute. Let's back up, we don't want to burn the camera. Sometimes get carried away and put a little too much fuel in the pan, the priming pan down there. So we're going to wait till it gets up to there we go. Almost ready. You can hear a sound when it's ready. Yeah, just a little bit too much fuel. One of the drawbacks to the MSR, I hate to say. I really like the MSR. It's I use it during my C&O and Allegheny Trail, and I've taken it on a few other trips. There we go. Hit it with a little fuel. Whoops, we're going now. So it's warmed up. I'll be back with you in a second. I'm going to get the other stove. Alright guys, both stoves are going and hot now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 pots on and hit the timer, and we'll see how long it takes them to go. I'm going to have both stoves wide open, full for this video. Timer's going, and we'll see how this goes. I've been curious about this for a while, and I wanted to use 2 pots of the same size, same amount of water, to see which one goes more. I think the Pumas will win this. personally, after using the Primus for a while and the MSR. The Primus is a cleaner and neater operation with a tank, but like I said, it's harder to find. And the MSR, you can find the fuel just about anywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut away for a minute. Be kind of boring just watching two pots go. So we'll be back with you as soon as we get a time in a rolling boil. Alright guys, we're at 1:44 seconds, and I'm already seeing some bubbles at the bottom of them. The MSR actually looks like it has more bubbles than the Primus, and we'll continue on to see what happens. Alright guys, we are at 5 minutes and 14 seconds, and I'm already seeing boiling coming off the bottom of the Primus, and still bubbles on the top of the MSR. If I can get a little closer here without getting the camera messed up. You see the water's already starting to boil. The MSR is opened all the way also. Guys, the Primus is clearly going to win this. Keep in mind now, I do not have heat shields on either one. It's not recommended for this type of fuel here to these bottles to use a heat shield. Could turn ugly. Alright, we're almost at a rolling boil. Alright, we are at a rolling boil here. We are at 6 minutes and 14 seconds. MSR still has not got a boil going yet. So I'm going to turn the Primus off. And let the MSR continue on. You know something? I got some hot water here. I think I'll make me a cup of coffee and wait on the MSR. We'll see how it goes, and we'll be back with you in a minute. Okay guys, we're at 9 minutes, and I had to pump up the MSR just a few more pumps, and I guess we can call this as the MSR lost this test, but I'm going to retry it and see what happens again. We'll go round 2, and we'll call this at 10. Alright guys, I'm calling this test at 10 minutes. The MSR had to be pumped up again to continue on and finally get a boil up somewhat. And because I really like my MSR, it's my stove of choice. And as you can see, it is a little slower than the Primus, but I don't mind that because of the plus factors of the ability to get fuel for it. So let me get a bottle weight on these and see what we come up for total use to boil. Alright, the Primus bottle now weighs 12 ounces, 12.2 ounces that is. And we'll go on and do the MSR next and see what we come up with that. Alright guys, the MSR bottle is now 30.1 ounces. And we'll do the math on that and we'll let you know what the results are. And I think I'll get my heat shield out and do a second test, because you can use a heat shield with the MSR where you can't use it with the Primus. Alright guys, we're going to give the MSR a second chance. I'm going to put the pot on there. I've refilled it up with cool water, and same amount, and we'll go at it again. Starting the timer. Let's see what happens, guys. I'm gonna let it boil, come up to a near boil, and I'll be back with you in a moment. Alright guys, it took 10 minutes and 17 seconds to get this water boiling. So next I'm gonna reweigh the bottle and see how much fuel it used again, and we'll get back to you when we're weighing the bottle. Okay guys, second test. We're now at 29.7. So we'll do the math and we'll get back with you in just a second. Alright guys, the MSR, even though it boiled the water twice compared to the Primus, It only used 0.7 ounces of fuel between the two tests, and the Pumas on just one simple test used 0.7 ounces. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio as far as the amount of fuel used. The Pumas is clearly the fastest of the two, but the MSR slower but more fuel conserving. If you want to go for a weekend camp out, hey, the Pumas is great. If you want to cross the country, it might be a little harder to find the fuel unless you carry 3 or 4 bottles with you. MSR, you definitely can find the fuel anywhere for it. So make your own decision on the two. And I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Hit the like and subscribe button, guys. I really would like to hear some comments on it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great and Merry Christmas, by the way.